So you can go into the settings of your computer and say, don't trust any USB drive, and this can get past that.
This can get past that because it's not a USB drive.
Hey everybody, Adam Savage here, and today we're going to talk about this, the humble USB key. When I go to conventions and events, I am sometimes given USB drives by fans who would love to share their work with me. And I totally get that, but I have to tell every single one of them, I am never plugging someone else's USB key into my computer or anyone else's. You have no idea what could be on these. Worse yet, the very act of plugging one in could initiate a malicious program on your computer. We asked the security experts from ThreatLocker to the Cave to share examples with us of malicious devices they have encountered in the field, like this: hacking hardware hidden inside an innocuous USB charging cable. I'm so glad you are here because I pay a lot of attention to security, internet security, encryption, the things that keep our data safe. Because while we use computers almost every minute of every day, there are significant threats to our data and to our internet security that a lot of people aren't aware about. Isn't that true?
Absolutely, and they're getting worse every day. The attacks are increasing.
Okay, so let's start at the ground floor. What is the most bog standard threat vector that most people might, that your average person might encounter?
Well, I think the computer itself.
Right, sure. Fair.
So,
and the operator.
So if you think about this machine or your phone or anything else, is so powerful.
Yeah.
It can be used to do anything. It can be used to video, record, exfil data, gain access to your bank accounts. And what that means is if an attacker can get any kind of into this machine, whether it's a user or whether it's a physical device, they can now gain access to not just your computer, but everything you use your computer for, which means your data, your bank account, your photos, your camera.
Right, it's not just a productivity tool, it's a gateway to all of the most important data of my life.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically walking around with a nuclear bomb in your pocket.
And now I'm seeing here a bunch of what look like innocuous USB keys.
Yeah, and this is the cool part about breaking into computers, is when you get something physical. Because of course you can send somebody an email and somebody can click on something and you can gain access. But this is where it gets really interesting, because quite often people will think, well, this is a phone charger.
Right.
How much damage can this cause me? This is just a USB key. This is a USB key. How much damage can it cause? But these actually are essentially the keys to that really dangerous tool.
Well, so there is this old meme that's been going around forever, which is that our phones have more computing power than the Apollo guidance computer. And I updated that for myself about a decade ago because I realized your USB drive has more computing power than the Apollo guidance computer. And I think maybe this charging cable might be able to possess more computing power than the Apollo guidance computer. Am I right? You could almost put a computer in here?
Yeah, there is a mini computer in there.
Some will run Linux on it.
You can run Linux off of a charging cable. That doesn't feel like anything is safe ever again.
And I don't think there was Wi-Fi in the Apollo, so, and that has Wi-Fi built right into it.
Okay, so I feel like, will you walk me through some of the ways in which these can compromise your system?
So this one here is the most basic, and this one, very, very cheap, very, very easy. And essentially, when you plug this into your computer, you plug the keyboard into it, and now it's going to record all of your keystrokes. And then you can gain access to those keystrokes. So if somebody was to put this in your computer in your office, in between your keyboard and your computer, and then come back a week later, they could see everything you typed or your passwords.
Every password, every
password,
letter.
every character, every message you sent on your computer will now be on here.
Okay, and so that's why this is entry level, because it requires a physical installation and then a physical retrieval of the data.
Yes, and also you get one shot of getting what you want.
Right. It's not an ongoing threat.
It's not. Whereas these get a little bit more interesting because these can actually do things. And this here, essentially, it looks like a USB drive. If you block USB drives, it will not block it. Just to be clear, you can completely block USB drives in your environment and it will not block it.
So you can go into the settings of your computer and say, don't trust any USB drive, and this can get past that.
This can get past that because it's not a USB drive. It's a USB device. And actually, I was in an event and I offered someone a free trip to Florida if this device couldn't exfil their data. And we had like 15 people line up trying to get this free trip to Florida for our Zero Trust Pod. And the first guy was like, I'm using this advanced DDR. My CISO says it's impossible. We block USB drives. And straight away, all his data just uploaded to the internet. And the reason being is because it looks like a drive, but it actually presents as a keyboard.
Oh, so the computer doesn't even think, so it's not even on the list of things it doesn't like.
No, it says, oh, someone's just plugged the keyboard in, let the keyboard send keystrokes to my computer. And that's what's super terrifying about this one. Now, when you plug this in, it can pretty much type anything you want. Now, it's only typing, so it can only do as much damage to you as your computer can. But again, your computer is this big weapon. So we're going to use all of the tools in your machine to exfil data or play music loud or
maybe
do
open up an email, send the email to a secret account, send passwords and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the two examples I like, and I know we've got the Rickroll as well, but the first one is, the Rickroll's really good for your kids at school though, if you want to ever do that. But the first one is you literally just iterate through their documents, use a program built into Windows like PowerShell, and just say, I'm going to copy all of the files up to the internet, and it'll just take their files. And the other one is you just plug it in for 20 seconds, you take it out, and it will now continuously take screenshots every 60 seconds. And we test it.
It's putting in a script.
It's putting in a script that runs it in the background, and it literally will take screenshots and upload them every. We had someone come in, and they're, again, one of the leading endpoint detection solutions, plugged it in, nothing, no alert, no anything, and for the next week, screenshots were just being uploaded to Google Cloud.
Oh my gosh. I have to say that ever since I heard about what a threat this can be, and this is well more than a decade ago, I have never plugged any USB key I did not purchase myself into my machine. What can people do against something like, if this is all of a sudden phoning home with all of your important data, how do you protect against that?
So I think the solution is you have to constrain this.
Right.
Because you can't stop, whether it's this or whether it's a user downloading and running something, you can't stop mistakes being made in every possible area. So what you have to do is say, well, I accept that something bad might try and happen, but I've got all these programs on my computer. They can access everything, all my data. Why don't we just take away every program that doesn't need access to our data away? Why don't we take away access to the internet if it doesn't need access to the internet? So suddenly, these things all they do is send keystrokes. So if they're going to open PowerShell or open curl or open command prompts, which are just built-in tools in Windows, if you block those tools from seeing your programs using a zero trust approach to security, it means, yes, they'll run, but the damage is basically nothing.
So one of the ways in which these threat vectors work is by exploiting the computer's desire to be easy to work with.
Absolutely.
It wants to do things when you plug things in. It wants to run scripts and it'll get stuff ready for you so it's all there when you need it. And what you're talking about is software that limits those permissions so that they're doled out at a reasonable pace. Is that right?
What you need to do, it should be able to do. And all of the tools that don't need access, because most people don't realize that they've got maybe 300 or 400 programs on their computer.
Right.
Because they think, well, I'm running Zoom, I'm running Office, I'm running Chrome, but they don't realize that little Logitech QuickCam support app, all the system tools like PowerShell and curl, everything that's built into Windows, all can be used against you. So if you just say, well, I'm going to take away all those tools where they're not needed, it makes an attacker's life much, much more miserable.
Now, is your guys' business model based on both a software model, but also training your clients about best practices and safe behaviors? Yeah,
so training the IT department, I think what is our entire business, if you like, marketing strategy is about education to the IT department, because we understand that people, users are going to make mistakes.
Right.
It doesn't matter how good you are, how much you train them, someone's going to make a mistake.
So that's what this pile here is. You can't keep one of these from entering your machine, right? Yeah. There's too many ways in which that can happen. So you have to deal with the aftermath.
Yeah. Stop someone physically being able to do something once they get onto your machine, and take away privileges where they're not required. And then it doesn't matter so much when your users make mistakes. What we're doing is we're essentially putting crash barrier around your computer. It's like on the highway, you can't go into oncoming traffic. And yeah, you can mess around a bit, dent up your car, but you're not going to be able to cause massive damage.
All right, now I'm really curious about this. Like, if you take apart this, would you be able to, under any circumstances, tell if something nefarious had been added onto it?
So in this case, this is specifically designed for bad purposes. So if you take this apart, it looks exactly like that. And yes, I can see, because there's a button here that puts me into attacker mode where I can program my payload. I can take this memory card out and I can copy things to that.
All right. So while I have maintained my security policy and not put unfamiliar USB drives in my computer, I am fascinated by what happens when that happens. Can we watch one of these do its nefarious thing?
Absolutely. So I've got two computers here.
Yeah.
Kieran here is my attacker.
You're the hacker.
He's going
Okay.
to steal my data. And this here is the victim.
That's the victim laptop.
Okay, the USB comes with C and A.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether you're using Windows or Mac. You have to change the scripts around a little bit, but you can do it in both. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug this into the computer.
Yeah.
And it's going to present as a keyboard. So blocking USB drives is not going to do anything. Now, I've disabled the ThreatLocker security software here, so it's going to get around. Everything will be able to run.
Whoa. Is that Command Shell right there?
Yeah, and it's literally just running PowerShell, and now it's downloading data.
Wow.
And it's using legitimate software. I guess one of them was denied, but the rest of them seems to be going through.
OneDrive. No, because you don't have OneDrive on this computer.
Okay. Oh, it's missing. Okay, so look, you can see now that it's literally uploading our data to the internet, and it's picking this Veeam recovery ISO because it's huge, which is going to be slow, and it's going to start uploading all of these files to Google Cloud here. And the nice thing about this is we're doing two things. One is we're using Google. And the reason we're using Google, because no SOC and no alert is going to trigger when you send data to Google, because there's so much data going to and from Google all the time. No one even blinks an eyelid. The second thing we're going to do is we're using 7-zip to compress everything together so we don't trigger multiple files being uploaded. 2 years ago, the script we had here would upload each file one at a time. And it took about 2 years, but some of the big antivirus and EDR companies started detecting all that mass upload as suspicious behavior. So we just changed it. So what it does, it zips it all up into one file so they don't see this mass upload happening.
Now, I have heard stories about like convenience stores near important government facilities being seeded with compromised USB drives so that some contractor might buy one at the local 7-Eleven, plug it into their computer, and malware starts to be
Trade shows, switching them out. I mean, whenever you go to a conference and you just take it, and the worst thing is you take these USB drives from someone's desk, someone could have gone and just swapped them on the table.
Right.
Because they look like they're giveaways, and it might not be the company themselves. So you might say, well, I trust this company. They wouldn't give me a bad USB drive. But you go and go take one of these free USB drives. All it took was someone to walk by and go, parking lots, very, very common. Right.
Parking lots.
You drop 5 of these in a parking lot, put payroll on them.
Who finds a USB drive in a parking lot and plugs it in? Do you just eat food that you find on the street? Do you chew gum from the subway?
So you go and put something intriguing enough on something, and actually I know of a police department where the head of cyber plugged in a device he found. And this, I wonder why cybercrime is unpunished.
What are you going to do against that?
And no, here's the thing though. You don't even need someone, obviously, I'm not going to plug something in, you're not going to plug something in. But if you think about it, you've got 100 employees in your company. Yeah. It just takes one. Yeah. One person. And then you can gain access to the network. And then once you're on the network, you can start doing things like slowly switching files out on network shares. And then you can get access to another machine. And it's very, very easy to move around once one person makes a mistake.
So the window here where we're seeing everything that the nefarious drive is doing, that's not a standard thing you see. You guys have put that up for visualization purposes.
Yeah, essentially, typically, if you were really trying to steal data, you drag it out the way so the user can't see it.
It's in the background.
You don't want it to happen, or you can minimize it and let it run in the background. I like to do that with the screen capture one where it'll take screenshots because it will just continuously take screenshots in the background. And you can make that persistent so it happens on restart or just until the user restarts their computer. And of course, the user shouldn't be able to see it when it's doing it. Now we can see on this side, all of our data is now uploaded. We can see all of the used files.
Just from plugging that in.
Just from plugging that in. No touching the keyboard, no anything.
Why is everybody using USB as like the most base level of a threat vector?
So the reality is most of the attacks actually happen virtually from just an email, run this command, or one of the cool things we actually did, I think 2 years ago, was we were doing this on a Mac, and when I plugged it in, it asked me what type of keyboard it was, which kind of slowed me down as an attacker. So I went off and I did what any responsible CEO would do, and I got half of our threat intelligence team to figure out how to get around it. In the meantime, they actually figured out how they could do it through Bluetooth by intercepting the connection through AirPods in the Mac and send the same keystroke. So it doesn't have to be USB. USB is just nice and easy to
So,
change.
so in every way that our computers are talking to each other and their devices for convenience, those are places that your data can leak out and
Yeah.
threat vectors can leak in.
Any input or output, which could be Bluetooth, USB, internet, user.
So you guys have been able to do this kind of scripting using the Bluetooth of earbuds.
Yeah, we literally, and it was quite an interesting webinar because our chief product officer loves Macs, like absolutely loves them.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're very secure too. They're famously.
That's what he argues.
Yes.
I had made a point of saying, look, it's just as bad, and we did the exact same thing. We exfilled all of his data. We managed to open, during the webinar, it was a PG-13 website, but an inappropriate website. And we got full control of his Mac, so we could literally do anything we wanted on it persistently.
Wow.
Just by him. And we didn't even, all he had to do was pair his AirPods, and we were able to intercept that connection. Now, Apple did fix it after we reported it to him. They kind of pushed it off at the beginning, but once we showed them what was really happening, they did go off and fix it in the next month's build.
Okay, now you guys do this for companies. Can you give me some advice that the viewers can take away about what each of us individuals can do about these kind of threats? What are your best practices at home?
So I would say, first of all, I mean, this is obvious. Don't plug things into your computer that you didn't get. And also be a bit nice on your IT guy when he says, no, you can't have your own cheap keyboard that you just... So there's one part. But also just when you're getting emails, when you're getting calls from people, AI is so effective now at replicating voices. Don't just run things on your computer without validating them. Call your IT department on their number, say, I've been asked to do this. Right. Can you validate this? Because most of these ransomware attacks now, it's because the user did something, opened something, downloaded something from the internet they shouldn't have done. Every piece of software that you run on your computer can see every piece of data that's on your computer. And just remember, so when you're installing a game, it might not be a good, even if it's not a intentionally bad game, these guys aren't security engineers, they're writing games.
So it's not that the game might compromise you, but the game might compromise your ability to be secure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
gotcha.
Only run what you need to run on a machine that you have access to critical data. If you want a game, go and get another machine, play the games on that machine. Don't log into your bank account from that game. anything there's no such thing as a free product. Anything you're downloading free, just think about that.
Copy that. Guys, thank you so much. This has been such an education, and I have long wanted to see evil USB keys. Thank you for showing me how they do their evil deeds.
You're welcome.